Hi, this is Mike with Rogue Media Network. As Texas opens back up, some of our shows have chosen to continue to record from remote locations. Some of our other shows have started recording in studio with very few people observing social distancing. Thanks for listening, and please be safe.
Don't let's start. This is the worst part. Could believe for all the world that you are my precious little girl, but don't let's start. I've got a weak heart and I don't get around how you get around.
Hi, I'm Becca, pronouns she, her, hers.
And I'm Josie, pronouns he, they.
And we're your judges.
Got it in one.
Got it in one.
It's By the Cover podcast.
A podcast that is definitely still happening.
100% still happening, and we are here, and we have coffee.
We have coffee.
And we are not going to slam it down on the table.
That was a very pointed comment. I just want to say I feel attacked.
No, I'm just saying we aren't. Like, that's a thing that we won't do.
Yeah.
If you've never listened to the podcast,
Yes.
Or if you've forgotten because it's taken so long, the 2 weeks is just kind of past your attention span.
We will try to get more regular. We're just regular. This is not a bowel movement. This is a podcast, and it's a podcast
and we are doing regular episodes still every other week.
Amazon book reviews, and we read them, and it's very funny every time
Because people on the internet are weird. And do we have a cold open?
Do we have a cold?
You got a
open
TikTok?
today? I got a TikTok, but I don't know if that's something to brag about so much.
No,
as
it's
like,
not.
I now have one so that I can see the videos that my little sister and best friend want to send to me. I mean, you are one of my best friends, but Bushina is also one of my best friends.
Your other best friend. Your best friend, like, two, if you will.
This is not an indictment. I'm so anxious right now. What if I make someone angry at me?
I think that there's a big difference between romantic partner, best friend, and then like your best friend who is hanging out with you consistently via Zoom mostly.
And I considered for like a hot 2 seconds that I was going to make this a TikTok for my cat, Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Our cat, Griffin.
The cat we share.
The cat that we both run and operate.
The cat that owns us.
To be fair, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think I did find Griffin more than she found me. In her cinder block, she was just like, do, kitten stay out. I'm less than 3 weeks old and weigh less than a pound, but I can live my own life independently and don't need this woman.
She could not though. But yeah.
And then I haven't done anything with it besides watch videos and occasionally hate the
Internet
TikTok UI
culture. Yeah. Well, maybe we've been talking about a TikTok skit. It might be forthcoming. What do you have for me, Becca?
Oh yeah, no, I start today. So I have a question for you. Are you feeling gay sci-fi?
Ooh.
Mishap detective tomfoolery,
Mm-hmm.
or The Elite, a biography?
Oh, I want The Elite, a biography.
Okay.
That is so enticing.
Okay, so today I'm going to give you Save Me the Plums, my gourmet memoir.
Oh,
by Ruth
yes.
Reichel?
Reichel.
I'm
going to go with Reichel on that.
Raquel. I don't know.
Ruth.
Ruth. Good friend Ruth, yes.
Was it also pounded into you that you have to refer to people by their last name in an essay because you don't know them personally?
Yes.
It was always strange to me, though, because I feel like I do know them, you know? I mean,
especially
intimately.
like if you were reading a memoir of theirs, like, I feel like we've gone, like, they've invited me into their life now.
Although, actually, I was talking with my sister and good friend, Beth.
Your best friend, sister Beth?
My best friend, if you will. And she knew APA, because that's the medical style, sticks with APA mostly, which is honestly the best style. Not to, in case anyone likes the MLA format.
I didn't like Chicago well enough.
Oh, no, that's actually, you're right. Chicago is my preferred. But APA has done a really interesting thing where you never use someone's title you only use their last name, and it is both to make sure that everything is gender neutral, as gender neutral as possible, but then also that you don't refer to someone as a doctor unless them being a doctor is relevant to the paper you're writing.
Oh, interesting.
That essentially there's
I'm so sorry.
We love unplugging
I'm
utilities.
sorry. I'm fidgety. That's one of my great curses. It's one of the great benefits of us recording this when we get to in the studio is I don't get to fidget with all of my shit that's around me and I don't get to touch it. So I apologize for what might have been a negative sound experience.
But
my computer loves you.
But that essentially things like someone being a doctor, someone being a reverend, anything like that, it develops a bias that the only time you should refer to someone's title is if like you're writing a paper on, breathing, and the person is a lung doctor. Yeah, I know medical terms.
So anyway, I've forgotten the title. Save Me the Plums. I really want it to be Hand Me the Plums. I don't know why.
Give me those plums.
That sweet, sweet plum book is a New York Times bestseller. And what the New York Times has to say about it is trailblazing food writer and beloved restaurant critic Ruth took the job and the risk of a lifetime when she entered the high-stakes world of magazine publishing.
Man, her last name has just ruined your ability to pronounce any word now.
I wish I could say that this isn't normal for me, but I would say this is pretty par for the course. Okay, when she entered the high-stakes world of magazine publishing, I can say words. Now, for the first time, she chronicles her groundbreaking tenure as editor-in-chief of Gourmet. A must for any food lover. Ruth is, let's assume every time I say Ruth, it's her last name because it really will break me, is a warm, intimate writer. She peels back the curtain to a glamorous time of magazine making. You'll tear through this memoir. Thanks, Refinery 29.
Ugh, this is exactly why we go to Amazon book reviews for the reviews, because this review is such bullshit. You could say this about literally any book. Like, a must for any magic lover. The author is a warm, intimate writer. She peels back the curtain
Food
to
lover. To be fair, not a magic lover.
No, that's lover. Hang on. Pulls back the curtain to a glamorous time of casting spells. You'll tear through this Harry Potter book.
Yeah, that's fair. So anyway, that's kind of why I called it Privilege, the book or the memoir. Is because like it just like it oozes it. When Condé Nast offered Ruth the top position at America's oldest Epicurean magazine, she declined. She was a writer, not a manager, and had no inclination to be anyone's boss. Yet, Ruth had been reading Gourmet since she was 8. It had inspired her career. How could she say no? This is the story of a former Berkeley hippie entering the corporate world and worrying about losing her soul. It is the story of the moment restaurants became an important part of popular culture, a time when the rise of the farm-to-table movement changed forever the way we eat.
Huh.
Readers will meet legendary chefs like David Chang and Eric Ripert.
Just no one has a good name in the
idiosyncratic writers like David Foster Wallace and a colorful group of editors and art directors who, under Ruth's leadership, transformed Stately Gourmet into a cutting-edge publication. This was the golden age of print media, the last spendthrift gasp before the internet turned the magazine world upside down. Complete with recipes, Save Me the Plums is a personal journey of a woman coming to terms with being in charge and making a mark, following a passion and holding on to her dreams, even when she ends up in a place she never expected to be. How many different books has Ruth written about her Epicurean experience?
Oh, goodness. 3, including this one.
She has written, I think, 4 personal stories about
just what it's like being a manager, and dare I say, a girl boss.
136 recipes that saved my life, a cookbook, and a novel called Delicious.
So we've got Delicious, Save Me the Plums, Save Me Those Delicious Plums. Tell me what the real people think about this.
So J.M. O'Connor gives this a 5 stars. Another hit from Ruth. I have cherished each and every one of Ruth's books. Tender at the Bone, Come From Eat with Apples were my favorites.
Why does Ruth make... Is it me? Like, is it... I need to know, am I just tainted in some way?
You're a dirty, nasty person.
Am I just a dirty human being that all of her books sound like innuendos, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think you're imagining that.
Oh, tender to the bone.
Save me the plums.
Which, like tender to the bone is a real thing, right? That one would say, like, you want your meat to be tender to the bone. Mm-hmm. But naming your book Tender to the Bone, like,
She's tender, and the bone is the core of the issue, and so her tenderness has relaxed the meat. Yikes, this is not going so well.
Okay, new segment idea, which is erotica or food book.
Yes.
Because from what I'm getting from Ruth, and what I must imagine is the rest of the cooking fandom or whatever, is that that would actually be a significantly difficult game to play. All right, tell me more.
I've waited 5 years, not so patiently, since her last book, and it did not disappoint. This book covers her years as the editor of Gourmet magazine. I was especially interested since I was in advertising and had many dealings with the magazine. She gives us a glimpse of the world of Condé Nast with accurate perceptions of their various characters. I was so sad when Gourmet closed, and I was so sad when this book ended.
Oh my goodness. What a tragedy. Imagine saying that you waited 5 years for another food book to come out.
Memoir. Another memoir. And here's the thing, Brandon Sanderson is eventually going to come out with the 4th book in the series that I'm waiting on, and like it's a big thing, and like King Killer Chronicles same way, long time, still waiting on that 3rd book, but I don't even think that then I would say, oh, I've waited so impatiently for this book, because I've just consumed other media. It is also like you are waiting for the continuation of a story that has left you on a hook. Mm-hmm. This person is waiting for more information about a person who exists.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
It's not like they gotta be like, hey, Ruth, you're turning 90 in a month, and like that's when things start to get dicey for old people, I guess. So get it on. Yikes, not good podcasting.
Oh, what else we got?
I really just want to highlight.
Oh no!
I want to highlight Jim Nicely's 5-star review, or Jill Nicely.
I shouldn't have looked.
The title of which is "Plumb the Depths," which isn't making it any better.
Oh, pass me those deep plums.
Ruth, I'm just gonna skip through this one. It's kind of a long one. Mm-hmm. I just highlighting some of the thoughts that are happening here.
Yeah.
Ruth had a long relationship with Gourmet from when she first found the magazine in a dusty used bookstore on an outing with her first book in a dusty used bookstore on an outing with her book designer father. So much class,
book,
privilege.
Yeah.
Through the years, it lost its unique voice through her reign as editor.
What?
Through to her reign as editor. There we go. She was able to bring back the spark that Gourmet had, to let her creative team run wild with imagination and panache. She inspired the best young writers to its pages. She brought life to its covers. She helped unite the chefs of New York in celebrations and in charity work.
Yeah, well, we all have important things that we need to do.
Ruth's stories are beautifully told, filled with textures and flavors, nuance and surprise.
Flavors? Did you... Hey God, did you appreciate that?
And
Jill made I just want to, like,
I like that. I think
flavors,
like to think of this like review as Jill being like, "Please, I want to be hired as a writer." Ruth, notice me, please. Ruth's stories are beautifully told, and just like the best gourmet meal, all of these textures and nuance and surprise
and flavor,
a dash of magic. I love reading her stories.
A sprinkling of the alphabet.
She has a way of explaining how things change as they stay the same and how you can move forward by staying in place. And that story of Paris in the black dress? Absolutely breathtaking. Anyway, so Fibonacci says my thoughts with a 2-star, Life and Times of the 1%. Having enjoyed Ruth's earlier books, I look forward to this one, but its author is a different Ruth, one basking in the perks and characters of rarefied food world, with scarcely a twinge of concern for any issues other than gourmet's next. The book is sprinkled with sharp takes on quirky personalities and faint whiffs of remembrance of times past. It's a pleasant read, but the reader expecting the mirage to shatter will be disappointed in the end.
Okay, while definitely valid, and it makes a lot of sense because this is a lot of times how people experience, I think specifically class privilege, people that maybe do actually start struggling and then become wealthier over time and more successful and kind of forget that. So I think that's a very valid critique. I do think it's very funny that Fibonacci includes, thus implying, I think, that they felt this way, that I thought that it would all be broken at the end, that it would be this mass illusion, that she changes her ways. And I just couldn't imagine reading a memoir in that fashion. Like, there's gonna be a twist ending, like,
where she suddenly stops being.
The M in M. Night Shyamalan stands for memoir.
Another 2-star
Got
review.
there.
One girl's opinion. You can have my plums if you want. And that's, like, the best part about all of it. Like, it's not a particularly funny review. I just really love the title of that review.
I also really enjoyed your delivery. You can have my plums if you want.
I'm sorry I became a robot.
If you would like my plums, please take them.
And so, like...
Complimentary.
The final thought that I think I would like to leave us with is a 2-star from Michelle B. Braverman, which is Ruth, I'd like to like you. This is the second Ruth book I've read, and the first one I finished only because it was a fast read. She does spin a good tale, but there is something off-putting about her style, a self-absorption that other reviewers have noted. I resented the way people were summed up in a few characteristics, sometimes compared to animals.
Oh, is that it?
Or
were you kind of pausing in case I wanted to jump in there,
yeah,
like a kangaroo?
I find it so disturbing. Like...
Disturbing, like a naked mole rat.
Yes, like a naked mole rat.
Mm-hmm.
Like... The fact that I think if I were to compare someone to an animal of any kind,
mm-hmm.
there would be like a certain degree of like literal dehumanization there that people would find alarming.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that obviously we have a lot of similes. Sly as a fox, dumb as a horse. Horses are very smart to have dumb as a horse.
Oh, they do panic a lot and like hurt themselves.
Yeah, no, that's definitely valid. Horses have
horse
exactly
main
two
defense
modes.
Is to like panic and run away.
No, that's fair. I mean, like trained horses. Horses can be very well trained. But yes, horses are known for it's the fact that they can't see in front of them.
Yeah, so, I just was alarmed that she compares people to animals. And,
yeah, absolutely.
That is definitely the, like, who Maureen Dolan Rosen wants to say, no wonder Gourmet went under.
I love it.
I looked forward to this when it was given to me as a gift, and I will preface this review by saying that the recipes are a real bonus, hence the 2 stars. But the book, for me, quickly spun into tales of wretched excess and whining and gossip among the literati. Maybe I missed something. It just wasn't that interesting.
All right.
So,
and that being said, time for an ad break.
Boop, 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 boop,
Beep, 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 beep. Hi, I'm Josie, and I'm one of the co-judges of By the Cover podcast.
And I am Becca, and also one of the co-judges of the By the Cover podcast.
We're here to tell you all about a newish bookshop in Waco, Texas, Fabled Bookstore. Because I couldn't remember if it's Fabled Bookstore or Bookshop. So Fabled Bookstore is what they're going to be known as.
Fabled is a really great place to get, I think, customized approach to your, like, reading, searching quest.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought specifically we could talk about in this ad that we've decided to do without Fabled asking us to is specifically, obviously right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of people are staying at home. You should be staying at home as much as you can. And one of the great things that Fabled came out with was essentially book shipments, book boxes.
Book boxes.
Where they will have you select give them as many books as you want of different things you've read and really enjoy, as well as genres. And then they will essentially have one of their salespeople go through and create a surprise box. And they also include coffee.
Which we drank very fast.
Very quickly. And I think it was very cool. We got one. Becca tried to surprise me with it, and then I accidentally snuck up behind her and saw what she was doing. In a cute way. I realized sneak up behind you.
It's fine. So we submitted the kinds of books that we're interested in. Like, thankfully, Josie and I are interested in very similar types of books.
But I think one of the things that I really wanted to point out about it is exactly how good they are at finding books that you would be interested in, is that the box that they sent us included a book that Becca had bought for herself just 2 weeks before. And didn't put on the list. Obviously, I don't think they're going to try to double it up, but that's exactly how in tune they were just with that one survey with your exact interests. Was they picked a book you had already decided for yourself you would be interested in. So
yeah, so it's been great getting to read those books. I mean, obviously, I was in the process of that book anyway, and so I can't recommend Fabled enough. I'm excited for when they open up again. They also have a delicious coffee cafe. And it's kind of a lovely place to get to sit and relax. And so when we get through all of this COVID-19 stuff, hopefully sooner rather than later, for now we should still stay home. But you can do pickup from them. They're starting to do curbside pickup. And I think for food as well as books, but I can't confirm that because Fabled isn't necessarily paying us for its little ad spots.
Also, an ad spot that is much longer than most real ad spots are, because we
Are
ramble.
bad.
FabledBookshop.com. Go check them out, and once they're back open, check out Fabled Bookshop in Waco, Texas.
And we're back.
Yeah, what an excellent ad that was, especially if it was us giving it. So Becca, you know what time it is? It's time for the book plug.
I'm gonna be emotionally scarred for a couple minutes. Okay, don't expect me to recover quickly from that. Woo!
What? You have a problem? You have a problem with book plug?
No, I don't.
So here at By the Cover, we normally just find books that we find that are a little bit out there, ones that we can usually make fun of as well, and we're kind of sourcing them ourselves. But Book Plug is a time that we take a look at some indie authors, some small authors that find us on Twitter, that I find on Twitter. Go follow By the Cover _pod on Twitter and Instagram. And if you're an indie author who wants
Ow. I can't do it. Book plug.
Go ahead and send us a message or add us. That's at By the Cover _pod. And today I've got Sometimes We Tell the Truth by Kim Zarens, I hope is how her last name is spelled. The book that I'm plugging today is Sometimes We Tell the Truth, a novel by Kim Zarens. You can find the author, Kim Zarens, at Kim Zarens on Twitter. That's KimZarins, at Kim Zarens on Twitter. Sometimes We Tell the Truth In this contemporary retelling of the Canterbury Tales, a group of teens on a bus ride to Washington, D.C. each tell a story, some fantastical, some realistic, some downright scandalous, in pursuit of the ultimate prize, a perfect score.
Huh.
Jeff boards the bus for the civics class trip to Washington, D.C. with a few things on his mind. Would you like to hear them?
I'm ready.
1. 6 hours trapped with his classmates sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
To be fair, having done 6 hours trapped with my classmates, yes.
No, it's awful. He somehow ended up sitting next to his ex-best friend who he hasn't spoken to in years.
Ooh, that is awkward.
It's really rough. Ex-friends are horde. He still feels guilty for the major part he played in pranking his teacher and the trip's chaperone, Mr. Bailey,
Ooh.
and his best friend, Cannon, never one to be trusted and banned from the trip, has something big planned for DC.
Wait, how did Cannon go on the trip? I'm sure we'll learn.
Presumably, I think he's sneaking there in some way.
In disguise.
But Mr. Bailey has an idea to keep everyone in line. Each person on the bus is going to have the chance to tell a story. It can be fact or fiction, realistic or fantastical, dark or funny or sad. It doesn't matter. Each person gets a story, and whoever tells the best one will get an automatic A in the class.
Dang.
But in the middle of all the storytelling, with secrets and confessions coming out, Jeff only has one thing on his mind. Can he live up to the super successful story published in the school newspaper weeks ago that convinced everyone that he was someone smart, someone special, and someone with something to say? In her debut novel, Kim Zarnes breathes new life into Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. In a fresh...
Chaucer?
Chaucer?
I mean, I could be totally wrong right now.
Maybe Chaucer? I think it is Chaucer, yeah. In a fresh and contemporary retelling that explores the dark realities. Now it is I who has made the computer ding.
Noise crimes from all the podcast hosts.
The dark realities of high school and the ordinary moments that bring us all together. So I would like to start out with the worst review that Kim received on Amazon. It is a fairly new book, and so not too many to pick from, but the worst one. Why Shulman gives 3 stars. Somewhat vulgar. It was just vulgar. Some of the stories were really good, but there were others that were just vulgar, and it's not what I expected.
I expect all my teen literature to be sterile.
Not only that, but I expect my teen literature that's based off of the Canterbury Tales to be sterile.
I mean, don't you know old-timey tales were never gross, and we were never gross until we got into this modern society?
It's this modern society. Their 2010 sensibilities. I didn't really connect with the ending either. There were some nicely written moments, and Mr. Bailey was pretty cool. Oh, bruh.
This person was a narc in school.
But I am going to start the real Canterbury Tales now, especially with this book as background and the resources it has in the back. My problem is I'm worried about how with this book I realized I didn't really like the multiple story things. But I'm excited. Yeah, but you're not gonna like the Canterbury Tales.
What?
Imagine reading a book that's based off the Canterbury Tales, being like, a little vulgar, but kind of interesting. Didn't like the multiple stories. Gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, but the Canterbury Tales are even harder to cut through.
Oh man, it's so rough. I was supposed to read all of them. I think I read 2 or 3.
Oh my gosh. Did you do the... I don't remember the cheating one because I am a compulsive non-liar.
SparkNotes?
SparkNotes.
No.
I couldn't read SparkNotes because I couldn't lie.
Yeah, I often didn't read things, but also didn't do the SparkNotes because I was good enough at picking up context clues in the class conversation. Like one time we were in class. This was not for the Canterbury Tales, but I was in my religion class and we were reading Flannery O'Connor stories. Some of my dad's favorite short stories are by Flannery O'Connor. And there was this one specific one where one of the characters is called the Mother. Mm-hmm. And someone asked in class, why is this person called the Mother? Why don't we ever hear her name? This is the first thing that has been said. I did not read it. I didn't have time.
Something was happening, I'm sure.
I was running tech for a musical, I think.
I was running tech for a musical.
I think that's actually what it was. I think I was light board up.
Dirty
for,
theater kid.
Yeah. This is the first thing that's been mentioned. And the professor, Dr. Wood, terrible religion professor, do not take his class if you're going to Baylor. Just awful. And he said, well, let's ask the class. And he says, what does everyone else think? Why is the mother never given a name? The class goes dead silent. And no one raises their hand. And I kind of look around at everybody, and I raise my hand, and he points at me, and I say, well, it's because her identity is entirely based in her motherhood and in her relationship with her children. In fact, it seems that she attempts to find worth vicariously through them, and therefore, as a character, can be perfectly characterized as a mother. And he said, exactly.
Damn.
Anyway.
Have I ever told you the story? Sorry, not to
No.
totally sidebar, but another where I got called out, but I was a compulsive reader and I have to tell the truth.
Right.
Is we were supposed to take notes on our copies of Romeo and Juliet. And at first this was really challenging for me, because you don't write in books. So we have to take notes, and so I started taking notes on our copy of Romeo and Juliet. And at the time, I felt like a very smart teenager because I didn't think Romeo and Juliet was romantic.
Which it's not.
And so I made fun of Romeo and Juliet through my notes. And more than that, I drew naughty cartoons in the what do you call the borders? Holy cow. The like clear space on the side.
The margins.
Thank you.
Words.
And so like I drew all these like nasty cartoons where I'd like make the characters be like, I'm gonna go do this thing. That sounds stupid as fuck.
Oh no.
And one day my teacher saw that I had like drawn all of these things and like saw how many notes I had in Romeo and Juliet. We were about halfway through. And she grabs the book, and I was like, oh, Jesus, this is where I get expelled for being profane. And she doesn't look at it. Thank God she was not a very smart teacher.
Oh, no.
And just picks it up and goes, class, Becca is doing such a wonderful job taking detailed notes. I mean, look, there are drawings. She is interacting with the text. You should be more like Becca. And she handed back the book to me, and I was like, yes, thank you. I am a good student and not going to go burn this copy of Romeo and Juliet.
I also made, I would also make stick figure cartoons, because I'm not very good at drawing, but my freshman year, that was a lot of how I took notes, was stick figure cartoons.
Wow.
Matt Pacini, 5 stars. That's not... It also gave 5 stars, but the name of the review is 5 stars.
Oh.
Great, funny book by a great and beautiful author.
Oh.
Matt, it's nice, but it's a little skeevy.
I mean, like, what if he knows her?
That's true. It could just be a nice compliment. I never read...
That was a lot of assumptions that I just made. What if Matt knows Kim?
She has an amazing talent of writing to appeal to all ages, and has presented each tale in such a unique and fascinating way. Quite a few twists here, even for those of you who think they know the stories. The characters are great, and the book is full of surprises. I loved it.
I think it's so great that, like, we have authors who are willing to pursue, like, actively transforming stories in a way that is smart. Especially, like, I think there is a lot to be said for the Canterbury Tales, but, like, if there's no way to relate, then, like, what is the point?
Mastar Sterling gives 5 stars. Genius. Sometimes we tell the truth. And the truth is, this book is amazing.
I was about to lie to you. I was gonna
give a false review, but it's great.
It's too good for me to lie.
I couldn't put it down. If you're familiar with the work of Chaucer, you will laugh your arse off.
Your arse off.
Your arse off. Especially at the modern adaptation of The Wife of Bath. Great supplement for students reading Canterbury Tales. The characters, although slightly different, remain consistent with Chaucer's in characteristics and personality. So yeah, I didn't actually have, there's not a lot of, like, really funny, like, bad reviews on here, which is,
Snaps for Kim.
you know, great. I'm also realizing that I misspoke. This book has been out, actually for a little bit longer than I thought. But that being said, no reason not to go get it. It seems very good.
It sounds like the kind of thing that would be really helpful if you have a student or a child who is struggling with reading. The Canterbury Tales, this might help them.
Well, not only that, from the sounds of it, what Kim has done is, first of all, done an amazing amount of research into the actual Canterbury Tales themselves, not just the book itself, but some of the history around the story, and has put a lot of those resources in the back of the book. And so it's actually a really good, exactly, that it's this nice, clarifying, updated, and yet changed,
Accessible.
very accessible story, but then also a lot of resources to make the original accessible as well.
I know why they made that funny joke at the beginning of the...
Because the title is Sometimes We Tell the Truth.
I love clever reviewers.
Yeah, so
just,
much.
really surprised me there.
You can find Sometimes We Tell the Truth on Amazon, of course, but Jeff Bezos is evil. And a much better place to go would be bookshop.org. Just search for Sometimes We Tell the Truth. It will be the first result. And bookshop.org is great because it supports independent bookstores. Any independent bookstore that joins kind of their bookstore coalition, even if they're not necessarily providing the books that are being ordered, still get a portion of the profits. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. It's over $1 million has been raised for local bookstores.
And that's so important right now. I mean, bookstores are struggling as it is, much less with a global pandemic. So
yeah, and I think a big part of it as well is one of the benefits that a place like Amazon has is it has so many warehouses, and they, pay their workers so little that they can do delivery much cheaper than a lot of these independent bookstores can, that they're trying to find ways to make delivery work in this time when they haven't had to do that before. And so I think bookshop.org is a great way to keep ordering online, keep having that convenience of those cheaper delivery prices while still directly helping independent bookstores. So this has been Book Plug.
I'm dying. Let's head to the ad break so that I can die in private. Whoa.
Hello, we are What's Your Excuse?
Podcast.
Exactly.
That's
I'm
right.
Caitlin.
I am Megan.
And we are here to talk to you about all of your things that you want to shit talk about.
That's right.
Is your life going poorly? Check.
Are you curious about diseases that are running rampant?
Check. Do you want to know all the places I have had sex in this world?
Check.
Check. You can find that all right here on What's Your Excuse podcast at Rogue Media Network. You can find us on Apple Podcasts,
Spotify,
Stitcher,
Google Play,
and Google. Yes, that's right. And give us a follow. Thanks.
What's your excuse?
Hello, book bitches.
Jesus Christ. We're back. Feared by Hell, an urban fantasy action adventure. The Unbelievable Mr. Brownstone, Book 1.
Man, some of these titles on Amazon just get so beleaguered.
By Michael Anderle.
Anderlaw.
Anderle. You never mess with a young girl around James Brownstone.
Oh God, no, this didn't start well.
It doesn't matter what crime syndicate you belong to. That just doesn't sit well with him.
It shouldn't sit well with anyone.
And maybe just
Congratulations, Mr. Brownstone, on having base level humanity.
The world has changed since the news of Orasiren, yeah, we know what that is, came out 20 years before. Now, countries all over the world have agreed to using a bounty system for dangerous criminals using advanced magic or advanced technology.
What?
People too powerful for the cops to deal with.
I hope that we can understand those words.
Well, it was italics, so. Magical criminals, thugs, and bounty hunters. In the future, we revert to a past.
I didn't understand those words.
If you find out you are hunted by Brownstone, we suggest you turn yourself in. It will save you a monumental ass-kicking. Brownstone likes his life simple, but life is about to throw him a wicked curveball.
Is it a woman?
I think it's definitely definitely a woman. Scroll back to the top. You can tell that Michael wrote his own summary here. Go back to the top of this thread and click read for free or buy now and kick back for a fun, action-packed adventure that will have you yelling for the good guys and laughing at just how much Brownstone can infuriate Shay and how thoroughly Shay mystifies Brownstone.
I am man who hunt people for living, but woman confuse.
Woman confuse me. Note, this book contains cursing. Perhaps humorous cursing, but cursing nevertheless. If this offends you, I don't suggest reading this book. So many times these summaries are just like, we gotta figure out what this book is about, so like, let's get through it. But this summary is such a work of art, such a gift.
Wow, yeah, This one has cursing in it. Do you think it has cursing, like vulgarity, as well as, like, magic cursing? You're cursed!
Like an abracafuck you is what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're gonna have to pay the McElroys now, won't we?
Oh no!
Alright. Let's go with...
You can give me a high or a low?
Sandy. Sandy, 5 stars. Not what I was expecting. Even better.
Wow.
With a name like Mr. Brownstone, I pictured a Sherlock Holmes type character with a tweed suit and a bowler hat. Did you get that after reading the summary, though?
Or like the cover of the book. Because I can see the cover of the book and I see a man in a t-shirt.
So not a Sherlock Holmes. Also, when I read the name Mr. Brownstone, my first thought was, not a very creative naming.
He's built like a brick shithouse.
Couldn't have been further from the actual character. James Brownstone is a bounty hunter, with a capital H for some reason, who is helping with some of the chaos that has followed with the gate between Orosiren and Earth starting to open. Okay, Orosiren is apparently another world, is what I'm going to guess now.
Okay, how did it come out, though?
When he's not out taking care of the criminals, he's living and breathing and also eating barbecue.
What? I breathe in the ribs.
Whether it's watching cooking shows, reading books on the history of barbecue, or going out to eat, James Brownstone loves his barbecue.
See, okay, so I would like to propose that it would be way funnier if, like, the beginning of that, the summary was like, you can't get away with insulting a rack of ribs in front of Mr. Brownstone, but to suggest that ribs was not appropriately braised and then, I don't know, barbecue.
Also, I got this book all prepped and did forget about the barbecue love. And so now I really enjoy that we kind of had the save me the plums, and now we have like Mr. Brownstone, please save my plums, you know?
God.
Mr. Brownstone, please save my plums. I'm calling it right now, episode title.
Do you know, I bet you that Shay knows about barbecue.
Oh, and
that's why he's so confused.
Mystifying.
He's like, a woman?
A girl knows about barbecue?
She likes pork?
He lives his life ruled by Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Okay.
Thanks,
Not
Sandy.
the band, thank goodness.
But when he meets a teenage girl...
Nope.
His life starts to get complicated.
Oh, no!
I want to be clear. I have read through all of this. I think that Shay probably mystifies him, like, as an anomaly?
As a child.
As a child. Like, I don't know how to care for child.
Not as an adult human
Yeah.
being.
I mean, I've enjoyed all of our, like, woman? But I think it very much is, like...
I have baby now.
I have
need
a
to
baby
take care.
now. Yeah, very like a Mandalorian type thing. Oh, we have to pay Disney
Witcher.
now. Witcher, yeah.
Pay Netflix now.
And pay Bethesda?
No.
Ubisoft.
I don't actually know who publishes Witcher. I just know it's not Bethesda.
Because it's a good game.
Don't do this. I love Skyrim and Oblivion so much. They're the reason I game.
Lots of action and humor I've come to expect from Michael Andurel's novels, and if you love barbecue too, Michael has included some of his fans' homemade recipes in the back of the book. Another great book, looking forward to the next one. This is a barbecue book!
It is the same! Oh my god! Okay, though, how exciting would it be to be, like, reading a fantasy book, and also you get barbecue recipes with it?
Hakan Lindqvist says, 2 stars. Invincible guy murdering thugs. Spoiler. Lack of suspense, questionable morals, and very little character development bring down my marks.
To be fair, he does warn about the vulgarity. And, like, the bounty hunter lifestyle. Which, like, often come with questionable morals.
Yeah, I mean, you literally have a bounty hunter. The writing style is okay, and the story is interesting enough that I did manage to finish the book, so it isn't awful. Thus 2 stars, I guess. The story is about an invincible guy that goes about murdering bad guys that have wronged him. There is no suspense. You know the guy is invincible and couldn't be hurt. You are also told the people he murders are really, really bad guys and have it coming, so the murdering spree is okay. Is that the questionable moral? It's just like, it's a murder spree people? And that, like, Hakan doesn't like that, I think. But the fact that it's... Anyway, much of the story is centered on what a mystery the characters are, which I take as an excuse for the lack of character development and very limited backstory. I'm an impenetrable. Who am I deep down? I'm James.
I'm Batman.
I'm James Brownstone. I'm James Batman. I apparently did not find this enticing enough when I first went through and made a screenshot, so I don't know who made this, but I'm just going to read the first bit of it, which is, I'm a bit too lazy to figure out how to connect to the author on his homepage, or whatever. However, if I was so inclined to figure out how to contact him, well, I'd congratulate him, compliment him, whatever. First of all, it's so easy. Amazon has the links right there.
Or just, like, search his name and see if he has a Twitter.
Or just, does he have a Twitter? James? Twitter.com? James? Jimothy?
I think that's the name of the character.
Michael Carlisle. Michael Anderl. People? Actually very hard to find. Several Michael Andrels, I want to be clear, but none that immediately strike me as...
What in German?
I think that Amdala is probably a very common... German last name.
Mystery solved.
Alright. Jerry Hyatt, 1 star. WTH, question mark?
What the hell? Question mark?
Terrible writing. Like a 10-year boy wrote it. Terrible writing, like a 10-year boy wrote it.
This is also...
my best of 3 times, you are out, letter U, letter R, out, and finally had enough. Threw it across the room, hoped it would be like Shane Silver's Orlando Sanchez, MD Massey, etc. Boy, was I wrong. Based on reviews, I almost bought all of his books. Thank God I changed my mind. That was 1 sentence.
Why? Who, like, just buys all book right away?
No, very good point. Secondly, Jerry Hyatt just apparently read the book, closed it, and immediately got on and just... terrible writing like a 10-year-old and just like word vomited into this review.
Listen, you get a feeling you're passionate about it, go for it.
And a nice positive note from Mike, 5 stars. Another winner from Michael Anderla. My first foray into the Officer's universe, and not only is it as good as expected, but there is finally a male lead character.
What?
Finally, representation.
We've never had a male lead.
Don't get me wrong. I have been thrilled about Bethany Ann, Valerie, Hannah, Julianne, and all the ass-kicking female lead characters. But except for TH, there was a heavy estrogen thing going on in the Arthurian Gambit universe. Now we have James Brownstone, a Jack Reacher-esque character with the immortal initials of such heroic types as Jason Bourne,
oh my God,
James Bond, and others who are there protecting the innocent and clobbering baddies.
Don't you know that if you have heroic initials, you will be a hero?
My initials are JB.
So Josie, when you go on your
Jack Reacher-esque.
I think you mean Jack Beecher.
Jack Beecher. It is very funny. Worth the effort. Looking forward to reading more of JB and his crew soon. Mike, reviewer Mike, hopefully not our producer Mike, because I'll lose a lot of respect for him. Finally,
Mike.
Some testosterone in my urban fantasy.
God, I've never wanted something more.
Have you noticed though that just look at kind of the books as a genre?
God, I'm so curious.
So many women.
About Michael's other female leads, because I'm assuming that these are other
people in a
that
similar
he's
universe.
written.
Yeah. Bethany Ann, Valerie, Hannah, and Julianne, though, as names, does not incite much hope in me, personally.
I mean, listen, Valerie's a nice name.
Valerie's a decent name.
I like that they're like average names,
It's
you know?
the double Ann, the Bethany Ann and the Julianne.
That's fair. Could be a Juliana.
Could be
Can you say Julianne like Juliana?
Jui. That's not. I'm gonna stop spelling. That's gonna be it for.
Yeah. So thank
those
you
books.
for being with us today. Not yet. No, just kidding.
Feared by Hell. No, I was just re-saying the title. Feared by Hell.
Feared by Hell.
Feared by Hell. A James Brownstone novel 1.
Is James Brown's a name? James Brown could be something that somebody's
James
named,
Brown
but
is probably
someone's
name.
famous.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Is James Brown a name? Yes.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Becca.
And I'm Josie.
And we've been your
And
judges.
yes, we will remain.
So a huge thanks to the Rogue Media Network and our producer Mike. This podcast literally would not exist without them. Certainly not in the form that it exists now.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Go check out other podcasts on the Rogue Media Network. VHS Trackers just came out recently. What's Your Excuse? Keep Waco Loud. All excellent stuff. Go check out Fabled Bookshop in Waco, Texas. It's very good. A huge thank you to my mother for growing me inside her body into the person I am today.
Oh God! For the whole time you were inside your mother?
I mean, she grew me, and then like I was cut
Ejected
out.
you.
Nope, never ejected. I'm
That's
again
fair.
from my mother's womb, untimely ripped.
Yeah. And please review us. Please check out the other podcasts on the Rogue Media Network.
That one.
I'm so bad at listening.
But as far as reviews go, just a reminder that we will read reviews of our podcasts on an episode.
Please make us say funny things. Please make us sponsor your business. As long as you give us those 5 stars. I mean, even if you don't give us those 5 stars, but
we'll read them. We believe no one is above judgment, so say some shit about us, but then use us to get free advertising. And apparently we'll talk about it for way longer than is a normal advertisement.
I mean, we'll talk about anything for way longer than is normal.
We've got to keep this episode under 60 minutes in the raw. I'm so sorry. Every episode, except for that one time I forgot the book at home.
Truly a criminal account.
We turn to the inspiration for this, for this,
our hero Hogue.
Our hero Hogue, our inspiration to keep going. From our drug book, The Dark Horse. So this is the bi-weekly devotional from page 17. Interrupt my horse show schedule. Every Monday, Rider's Day off. Bye.
Bye. We love you, Mike.
You're great, Mike. We love you.
This has been Rogue Media Network Podcast.
And now, welcome to the ASMR portion. The secret part of this episode. And now I'm going to open a book.
And then flip it. Yes.
Take a sip of coffee out of this.
Fabled mug.
Jesus Christ.